Rabotai, we are continuing in Sheva Yipol Tzadik in Parag Gimel, in page 66. After speaking about that a person needs to have an emet raton, he has to have a will that he wants to accomplish, whatever it is that he wants to accomplish. Today he's going to bring down what is the problem today with us that we don't have this driving force. So he says, Ikar habayot zehu chosar haraton ha'emiti rabotai. The main problem is that we are lacking the real want to accomplish things. ובראש ובראשונה חייב אדם להדחיר בעצמו רצון אמיתי להצליח, רבותיי. The first thing a person is obligated to make sure to penetrate into his heart that the real raton, that the want to wanting to succeed. Not I just want, רבותיי, he has to make it real. He has to make it part of him. ורק לאחר שיגיע הרצון, after the want will come, יתחיל לעבוד על עצמו בכל הדברים דלהלן. He says, then you'll begin to work on yourself like all the things that are going to be mentioned later on. Aval, however, he says, אם לא יהיה בו רצון, if a person is not going to have the will, לא תעזור לו שום שיחה שישמע. Very important rule, guys. If a person is not going to have a will to change, to grow, to succeed, no talk, no musar, nothing's ever going to help him. He can go to 100 of them. He can listen, he can get pumped up, he can get excited. It's not going to help him. V'lo shum seder musar sheyilmad. Any seder of musar that he has, that he learns on his own, also not going to help him. Rabotai, why? Because the person does not have that want. If you take a person that's working out in the gym, and you have a coach screaming, let's go, you're going to do it, you're going to become a big bodybuilder, yeah, you're going to make it. Yeah, he could scream all he wants. If I'm not going to lift the weight, his motivation is not going to do nothing to me, understand? If I'm not going to lift the weight, it doesn't mean anything. A person has to have a want. A person has to have a will to also grow. So he says like this, Rabotai, how many times we see this? You have two people that go to a lecture. One comes out completely different than the other. One came in, you know how they have today, I don't know if they have it today, but back then they used to have dinner in the movie. Today's dinner in the rabbi, yeah, by the shows when they do. And a lot of people tell me, we go at least, we hear a nice story, and we eat food, we get free dinner. Okay, they got to respect also. But the truth is, Rabotai, it became dinner and the rabbi, not no longer dinner and the movie. That's what we just did. There's no more what he call chashivas, the importance of what we're doing is right or wrong. Everything is nice, stories. So people, when they go home at night, they're going to sleep good. But nobody wants to really awaken the people. People, we need to wake up, Rabotai, we need to wake up. So he says over here, you have two people that hear that same ethical speech. To one, it has an effect. It takes influence. Rabotai, why? Because when he came to listen to the Musa Shu'ur, he came in there with a ratzon, with a want, with a will. Lishmoa, to listen, ulikabel, to accept, that these things should have an effect on him. He just doesn't come to punch in and punch out. He comes because he wants it to change him. What about the second guy that entered? But the second guy, he came, he just walked in, just to punch in and punch out. The rabbi can speak all the musar that he wants. Hour upon hour, he can learn whatever he wants, Rabotai. But when you're doing things in a cold way, when you're not fully involved in what you are learning, Rabotai, forget it. It's not going to help you at all. These things are never going to have any influence on you. Everything is dependent. Before you begin to learn anything, everything is dependent on what? Dependent on your will and on your submission, on your being submissive, on how you're going to accept what the thing is going to be said. A lot of people don't like accepting musar. A lot of people are afraid of it. Why am I being rebuked? Why am I doing wrong? What? So okay, if once you come in like that, you're not going to be able to have any influence on you. I'll put it to you like this, guys. I'll tell you a small story. The Rav Chaim, they used to have some kind of magazine. I don't know, back then, some kind of magazine. And he wrote over there, and he read over there, there's certain things that were happening in the world. That this president did this mayor did this, v'chulu, v'chulu. Rabotai, I want to show you what it means to learn Musar. How does one learn Musar? When the Rav Chaim closed the newspaper, he said this is apikorsut. Why? Because we believe that everything that's happening around us, who's doing it? People, president, this guy, mayor, corona, shmorona. We don't believe that it's Hashem behind it. That's a pikoshut. So Chavetz Chaim, when he was reading at his time the problems that were going on there, he closed the newspaper and he said like this, Rabotai, listen how he said, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim et haaretz. Bereshit, he kept on repeating it 100 times, Rabotai, he made it part of himself. He didn't just read it, okay, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim. No, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim et haaretz. What does that mean? In the beginning, Hashem created the heavens and the earth. What does that mean, Rabotai? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in control of everything. You have nothing. You think you're doing something. Rabotai, I'm telling you the truth. You're not doing anything. Chavod Alavot says, anybody who believes in Hashem, Hashem is always going to help him out, no matter what. You're good, you're not good, Hashem is always there for you. But anybody who depends on anything but Hashem, Rabotai, Hashem says, I'm going to leave you to that thing, whatever you depend on. Let me say they're going to help you out, Rabotai. And the contrary is going to actually only backfire. So that's it. You have two people over here that entered. One was influence, the other one was not influence. He says, Rabotai, listen to this carefully. Even in our worldly matters over here in this world, whatever person wants with all his heart, he sacrifices his nefesh until he gets whatever he wants. How many people you see go to college? When I used to be in college, Rabotai, man, without exaggeration, you know what means cramming for an exam? You know what means staying up all night just to be able to get the project done? You do it because it needs to get done. Not I want, I don't. You do it because this is what means the ratzon. When you know you have no other way, this is it. If I do it now, yes. If not, not. He says, "Ura'aya lezeh anu lemdim hamaseh im Reish Lakish Rabotai in Baba B'tzia in Masechet Mabitzi in Pei Dalet in Amur Aleph." Guys, if you remember the story with Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan was in the river. He was going toiling, bathing. Reish Lakish saw, he thought he was a woman, so he jumped into the river thinking that was a beautiful woman. Reish Lakish, don't forget, was one of the biggest mafiosos, if I can say. Huh? Mobsters. So he says, he jumped to the river, to the side of Rabbi Yochanan. And when Reish Lakish saw Rabbi Yochanan, he told him, how did you jump? He says, well, you look like a woman. He says, if you're going to do teshuvah now, I'll give you my sister who's much more beautiful than me. Rabotai, look what he says. Listen to this. When Reish Lakish already accepted upon himself that the yoke of Torah, that he's going to want to sit and learn Torah, he wasn't able to jump back onto the dry land. He was a strong guy. What do you mean? What happened? Just a second ago, you were strong. What's the reason he wasn't able to jump? He didn't learn Torah yet. Torah will weaken a person. Torah weakens a person. People think it's easy to sit and learn. I test you guys, try it. You'll see how hard it is. Rabotai, it weakens you completely. So he says, he was not learning Torah, correct? So why was he weak? Listen to this, Rabotai. Even though you can explain, all he did was accept upon himself the yoke of Torah that he's going to want to learn Torah. Automatically his body became weak. Automatically, Rabotai. This is what means making a change, making a decision. Once you do it, automatically changes. All kaved, Rabotai, from that heavy yoke. Just accepting it. He says, Yom Kippur comes, Rosh Hashanah comes, you guys feel a weight on you. Yes or no? The same thing with you, Rabbi Yochanan, Reish Lakish. Once he accepted the Torah, automatically he felt this weight on him. That's why he was able to jump back. Rabotai, 1 more minute, Rabbi Yisai. However, he says, Yoter nir lefarish. He says, there's another answer I can give you. The kivin shekibel all Torah. Once he read accept all Torah, kvar lo haya lo et haratzon ve'et hatzorich lekfot. He no longer had the same desire. He no longer had the same want to now go back and jump. Ulekach kvar lo yachal. That's why he wasn't able to go jump. Ve'av sheratzah was that he wanted to. Mikol makom lo haya ratzono aski b'tchila. His will wasn't as strong as initially when he jumped. And so it goes to all the matters of the world, Rabotai. It all depends on us. We're going to conclude over here, but a person needs to know, if you have a Ratzon Amiti, you want to wake up, Rabotai, you're going to do it. You don't want to wake up, Rabotai, you're going to do it. Whichever way you program yourself, that's how it's going to go. We'll see this in part 2. Baruch Adonai L'olam. Amen. Amen.